Welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News. It is Friday, November 13th, 2015, and I'm Leanne McAdoo. Joining me is Joe Biggs and Jakari Jackson, and we're going to be spending the first half of the show tonight bringing you all the updates on the Paris terrorist attack. But here's what else is coming up on the show.
Tonight, another deadly attack rocks Paris. Then, part 2 of St. Louis's nuclear legacy. And the Pentagon issues an unconfirmed report about the death of Jihadi John. That's next.
Joe Biggs here with INFOWARS.com. Now we have some breaking news out of Paris, France. First, let me go over here to this Vice News. They were the first ones to report on it that I could see. Earlier, deadly shooting reported in Paris. Now these are the first reports. There are reports of 2 separate gun attacks and 1 explosion in Paris, France. One happening at a Cambodian restaurant and another near a soccer game right there. Well, that's where the explosion happened there. Now we'll go through here, look at some pictures. This is a guy who's on the ground. And as you can see, broken windows out of the cars here and then over here at this restaurant.
Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa Pure Pro is a brand new, groundbreaking, gravity-fed water filtration system that is like no other. The Alexa Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water, pairing the unprecedented superfiltration power of an all-new gravity block core with a hybrid chromatic shell. It removes up to 99.999% of impurities, including bacteria, viruses, fluoride, disinfectants, volatile organic contaminants, and hormones. Filter capacity up to 5,000 gallons. Stainless steel construction, easy assembly, low maintenance. Replacement filters are simple to install. And now, as part of an exclusive limited time introductory offer, you can save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer, so order your unit today and receive free shipping and $20 off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139.
Well, a third deadly attack is taking place in Paris presently. Officials are pretty confident at the moment that this is another terrorist attack. If it is, it will be the worst in France's history. What we know right now, at least 40 people have been killed in these attacks. Hundreds of people have been taken hostage there in a stadium. At least 6 shootings took place in Paris, 3 explosions as well. Reports that those were suicide bombs. And 6 to 8 hostage takers are presently, like I said, holding people hostage in a Bataclan concert hall. So we'll definitely be bringing you more updates as this all comes in. Paris, right now, the entire city is on lockdown. They have instituted a curfew as well. But, you know, guys, what do you think? This is getting pretty intense there, the scene, from what we're seeing.
Yes, Leanne, with more on that, President Holland has actually been evacuated from the stadium, so he was in attendance when this whole thing started. And it's being reported by the New York Times that the shooting occurred near the former headquarters of Charlie Hebdo. So it's very interesting that they had these 2 shootings in a very close proximity.
Yeah, there's actually a Vine out right now on the internet you can find on Twitter or something like that that shows someone filming the soccer game inside and you hear the explosion going off. They're saying several killed, you know, Kalashnikov attacks, grenade explosions. Multiple attacks at different sites, reports of suicide attacks, hostages taken. And it's such a big event that we feel like we should go out there. So myself, Rob Dew, and Paul Joseph Watson, along with a camera guy, are going to be heading out there to France as soon as possible to get some good updates, have some boots on the ground, you know, a reliable source that, you know, a lot of people look for us for information. Yeah. And we'll talk about the whole gun-free zone thing, how that really isn't working out. And how the fact that the president's coming out saying that this was just another senseless killing, completely ignoring the fact that it's a gun-free zone. These people don't have the ability to protect themselves.
One of the shooters yelled, Allah Akbar.
Yeah, and when that happens, you're a soft target. So gun-free zones make you a soft target. People get killed. We need to stop that whole mentality, that liberal logic that less guns means that everyone's going to be safe, completely ignoring the fact that criminals are criminals for a reason, that they don't abide by laws. They're going to shoot anyway. So.
Exactly. All right, and actually now we have Alex Jones breaking in to give us his analysis.
Thank you, Leanne. This is the reason we have InfoWars Nightly News, the reason we do the Sunday radio show, not just the weekdays, because news is always breaking. And how many times the last few months have we said, look for theater attacks, look for hostage situations, look for public places to be attacked by Islamic State and their affiliates. They've called for the strikes against Europe. They've called for the strikes against Russia. And the reason we know early on this probably isn't staged, it may be, is that they didn't have perfect scripting already lined up and set for some initiative. They'll try to spin it. But the fact that they're not saying Islamic terror, even questioning that could be involved up front, for the last 30 minutes I've been watching, or the last hour or so, shows me that it's probably a real terror attack, blowback from the radicalization of these Islamic groups, turning them loose. The globalists don't completely control them. They just energize them and then turn them loose on areas, knowing that common sense has been suspended. And then when they shoot down jet airliners, when they blow up airplanes, when they take over theaters and shoot people and attack Garland centers or whatever, or Army recruiting centers, the media will just say it's not Islamic terror. Or if it is Islamic terror, they'll just play it down. So this is being done, again, to take our liberties and take our freedoms. The people doing it are angry because they're being bombed, they're being attacked, they've been turned against, they've been double-crossed. There's a lot of evidence the West is double-crossing ISIS now and at least containing it. And Saudi Arabia may be even cutting off their jihad army. So it's a lot of double, triple crossing going back and forth. But I'm here to announce that we're going to be covering this extensively. I'm just going to leave it at that for the TV viewers and everybody, but I do intend to send reporters as we speak to cover this. Paul obviously has family in France. His parents live there. They're retired British citizens. He's going to be literally in the tunnel in the next few hours under the channel traveling there. So we're going to have live reportage of this. And the reason this is important is you can see the season we're entering. This is not going to be the only attack. We've already seen 6 or 7 in Europe and the United States that they've mulled over. And that, again, that tells you it's real. When they have a terror attack and then they say, oh, we've got a bill to take your freedoms away, and all the scripting is ready and it's all packaged. Bill Clinton, within 25 minutes of OKC, was blaming states trying to pull out of the federal government, get us out of the UN, and Rush Limbaugh on talk radio. So, again, there's no scripting on this. They'll try to spin scripting, but this up front doesn't look staged to me. It may be. There's a lot of different criminal groups involved. We've got to analyze and find out. So we don't know yet. But we are going to deploy people there to cover this because, believe me, this is coming here. And there's a war for logic. I said this a few years ago when Benghazi happened. I said, how will they spin it when they shoot down a bunch of jet airliners and take over theaters, I said theaters, and malls, and do all this when it's people our government protected and bare minimum brought into our country? So they're bringing all these people in, giving them everything free. The Swiss police aren't letting folks in, but they're still catching people. The Swedes are finding weapons caches at these refugee centers. This is a bigger destabilization global chaos program, and I don't know the full enemy's operation, but I'm telling you, big stuff's about to happen because here's the deal. Every time they have an economic collapse or an economic downturn, they have a terror attack right when it starts to kind of get everybody together and to divert them onto that. And all the stars are aligning for big military events with Russia, with China, in the Middle East, with the economy. A lot of things are aligning right now. And so that's why this comes at such a key point that we know France is actually funding the jihadis, engaged in all this behavior, and now it blows back against them because they're using the jihadis to overflow the country and basically balkanize it. And the jihadis are like an army of the socialists. So the socialists will say, capitulate to us, give us more freedoms, give us more money, give us more taxes, and we'll protect you. We've got to point out, wait a minute, because the mainstream media won't do this. You're the very government media that went along with this and brought these people in. 80% of the folks coming in, according to the UN, are military-age men. Most of their passports are fake. I can't even believe this, and I'm going to apologize right now to some of the folks at WorldNet Daily, some of the Christian fundamentalists, and even Glenn Beck. He's been wrong about a lot. Maybe he's not wrong. I remember them talking about caliphates 5-6 years ago and talking about secret invasion plans, and they're going to turn us over to the radical Muslims, and I just didn't believe that. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole Middle Eastern plan was to bring the Middle East down, bring Iraq down, put Saudi Arabia in control, let them take over everything, then flood Europe, and basically politically correct, checkmate everyone into submitting to them. Are you guys getting me loud and clear? I heard a glitch.
Absolutely, Alex. This is pretty dire. I think you're spot on with your analysis.
Well, thank you. I mean, I wish I wasn't spot on with it. And I want to get your analysis and all of this. And we'll have live coverage tomorrow, a special reportage of this, because you got 100 people, if you just joined us, held hostage. You got 30-something dead. And you clearly, again, basically The New World Order 100 years ago began funding radical Islam. British intelligence set up what's currently the New World Order. And it's a covert British empire. It's not blaming the British. It's just that's the structure that it took on. They created Saudi Arabia. They had them take over the whole Middle East before. They lost some of it. They've been promised it back. But I'm telling you, these Saudis are so corrupt and so crazy. They're being used by criminal elites to menace the West. And I think this has gone far beyond just staging terror attacks to take American liberty. There's been a deal made with them for much of the world. And there's been a deal made, and now they're saying, like they told Russia a few years ago at the Olympics, you do what we say or we'll blow up your Olympics. This is what's going on. And Russia backed off Syria for a few years just because of that. I mean, this is the real deal. This is our sick government. Our sick government thinking we're so stupid they bring in these terrorists, let them attack us, and then take our liberties to supposedly respond to it. So, and Joe agreed with me when he was in combat, talking about when they start attacking, it comes in clusters. There's reports of other attacks happening.
Yeah, there's actually some other attacks ongoing right now.
Right, yeah, this is still a live situation, and there are multiple attacks still taking place. So,
well, also some breaking news right now. President Hollande of France has declared that they are shutting down the borders in order to capture the terrorists who are out there that they're still trying to catch. So they're not allowing anybody to leave.
Borders to begin with, and by the way, that's his cover. He was criticized on Monday for closing the borders until January 1st to stop radicals from coming in for the UN summit, climate summit coming up. Now he's claiming, see how they just did that? Now he's claiming they're doing it now because of this. There's a big story right there. Just like they ordered naked body scanners 1 year before the underwear bomber. 1 year before, they were coming into delivery that January, so they staged the underwear bombing to legitimize the machines that were already ordered a year before. I mean, this is so sick. They want a lockdown over there to keep press and other people out of this world government summit that's coming up. It doesn't mean they staged the attack, but they let these jihadis in to do this. Now, we'll see if it's jihadis. I've been looking since this broke. I mean, is anyone even speculating in mainstream media who would do this? Who did theater takeovers in Russia? Who did theater takeovers in Chechnya? Who's done theater takeovers all over the Middle East? Who does this? Who just attacked France 4 times in the last year? Who just blew up Hebdo? Joe Biggs, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a horrible situation that's unfolding in Paris right now. And I do agree with the fact that you said when there's an attack like this, there's usually going to be another attack sitting there waiting to happen. And they do that to draw attention to a certain area so everyone's eyes are in one location. And then the strategy is to then go hit other areas. So like you said, you're going to be sending people out there. We're going to get some great coverage out there on the ground and keep people informed on what's going on. This is a horrible event that's taken place today.
Right.
A lot of people have lost their lives, and we said this time and time again. The gun-free zones are kill zones.
We need to pray that this evil be broken, and the scum in that building just everything they do. I hope it falls apart because this is sick.
Yeah, completely.
It is, and we do have reports that one of the shooters did yell out "Allah Akbar" before, terrorizing and attacking these people. So they're pretty clear at this point, pretty confident calling this a terrorist attack.
Well, I want to be clear. Our government is good overall. Our military are great people. Our police are great people. Our citizens are great people. It's very sophisticated. It's like a Spectre movie, but it's all come out now. We've been proven right on this. The 28 pages, all of it. There are criminal globalists who are funding radical jihadists and not letting our government actually go after them. Again, we get attacked on 9/11. Do we go after where the supposed hijackers came from, Saudi Arabia? No, we don't. No. That's not what we have. We have them coming after and going after in a big, huge way Iraq, which was the enemy of Saudi Arabia. And it's the same deal. This is global domination. These are Saudi Arabian mind control forces, and they're not mind controlled with drugs and flashing lights. They're culturally brought up. They find the people that'll do it. They wind them up. They arm them through subsidiaries, and they attack. And that's who's behind this in the past. Saudi Arabia has said they will attack anybody that tries to stop their ISIS forces that are taking over. Okay? They have said that. And it does appear, and I was getting ready to talk about this week, I talked about some on air, that there are some real airstrikes against ISIS now, and that some of these groups are targeting them. And so it looks like the West may be turning against ISIS because they don't want to look bad, with what's happening with Russia. This is the fog of war. The globalists have strategies that are so Machiavellian, they don't even know what's going to happen next. They're waiting